What is up, gamers? Now, as you can see by the title, this is my official review for Minecraft Dungeons. This is the first review I've done for a video game, so it's pretty exciting stuff here. So it might not be the best well scripted type thing, but bear with me, okay? It's the first time. As we keep doing these kind of things, they'll get better and better, all right? But anyways, I'd like to start this review by saying that I've never really played dungeon crawler games before. This is kind of like my first experience with that sort of game. I've never played Diablo or anything like that. But overall, to begin with here, I had a very fun time playing the game. Gameplay, pretty easy to to learn and stuff like that, and it's fun. It also wasn't overly challenging, but not too easy, stuff like that. And I liked a lot of the mechanics that were in the game, especially with like the weapons and stuff. However, some of them took me a couple tries to figure out how they worked and stuff. So for example, there's like TNT in the game, and you can't shoot your bow when you have TNT because it's the throwing thing. So every once in a while I'd forget that, and then I'd end up throwing my TNT, which blast rate is pretty large, and I'd end up only hitting like one guy, and it was a complete waste of that weapon. Also with the bow itself, if I was using a crossbow instead of a bow, and I usually use regular bows, and they'd have like the quick fire kind of a thing, it would mess me up a little bit because I wasn't expecting that. For the most part, I really liked that kind of stuff, and that was more of just me being bad than actually a problem with the game. It also was fun because I had to like build the strategy of like what I wanted, what type of weapons I wanted to use, the different stats that each had. To build around more of my personalization of how I want to play the game kind of thing. Also, there's like an enchanting system into it, which I think is pretty cool, whereas you don't get to just choose any enchantment that you want, but it's also not completely random. You can see in the weapons before like the enchantments that you choose, then you can level up those specific enchantments. You can have 1, 2, or 3 on a weapon. I never got to 3 because I don't think I was having higher level enough weapons for that, but having 2, you had to make a decision based on if you wanted a weapon with 2 or 1. A lot of times, just because a weapon with only 1 enchantment available was a higher level, so it had more, did more damage, stuff like that. But it also had less help in the other areas that the enchantments brought. So you had to like think about those kind of things. But the one thing that I feel like they could have done a little differently is I feel like there should have been like some sort of crafting system in it, because it is Minecraft Dungeons. Mining, don't think that's really needed in it. I feel like that would have taken away from the main point of the game. But I feel like crafting could have put in there. If going around the levels and stuff, you found like raw materials. Then when you brought them back to camp, you could use them to build something. Or build weapons and artifacts, stuff like that, which I think could have been a cool mechanic to put into it. And also one thing that I think they should have done as well is you get like a bunch of weapons, and a lot of times they're like not at all what you want, but you get a bunch of that kind. So if you put them all together, then maybe they would be good, kind of an idea. So if you combine weapons that were the same, I feel like that also could be a cool thing they could have done. Once again, they didn't do that, but that was definitely something that I thought about continually throughout the game, and I kind of like thought it was in the game, and then I realized, no, you can't do that. I was disappointed. And I feel like with the whole craft part, it's a way that you can bring it back to Minecraft, because it is Minecraft Dungeons, not just dungeon crawler. One thing that I also liked was that you receive like random consumables throughout your play, which I think is really good, because instead of just having health, just be able to store it kind of a thing. You had to find it off of a dead guy if you had already used your health potion, and the cooldown timer was still going, kind of a thing, which made for some difficult parts when I was playing, because I'd be like, oh crap, I'm really low, I need to use my health potion. Then I'd get really low again and be like, oh crap, now I don't have my health potion, and I need that, because if I don't, I'm going to die. And so being able to just find it off the body, kind of a thing, definitely helped. But it also made it so that I had to go and fight things, even though it also made a larger chance for me to die, but it also gave me a better chance to heal if I didn't want to just sit in a corner and just wait for the cooldown to be done, kind of a thing. Also, it was good because the other consumables besides like just healing stuff was like there's like a swiftness, there's like some shadow potion, there's also like a strength potion. So pairing that with my artifact that I used a lot, which was a speed one, that way I could get from enemy to enemy even quicker while I had that strength buff, so I could go through a level while I was more powerful, be more successful that way. So ways to, like, you know, combine different things so that it's more successful for you. I think it was also a good thing that they put in there. I also like how, like, the bosses, they were, like, fairly easy to figure out. You weren't like, I don't understand how this guy even works, and that's why I keep getting my butt kicked. It's more like they just have a lot of health, and I'm not very good at the game, and that's why I keep getting my butt kicked. So it wasn't that they were necessarily very easy to beat, but they were easy to understand, so that you could beat them after only like a few tries if you couldn't get to the first one. And I feel like another part that's very good in it is the randomization of the partial randomization of the levels, because that way you didn't, when you died because you failed, when you played it again, it wasn't that you you know, played the same thing over and over again, and so it got kind of boring because you already knew the path and you just kept getting beat no matter what. That way, you know, it was different, and you weren't mad at yourself for failing because necessarily it was your fault because you're bad at the game, even though it might have actually been that reason. It's because, you know, you didn't know that was going to be there, so it surprised you, kind of a thing. And you had to, you know, be better at the game instead of just finding a little cheat where if you hide around this one corner, then the guy can't get you. It also made it so that when you know, replay levels down the road, when you get to the more higher difficulties, because that's what they put into the game, once you beat the game on one difficulty, then you can go back and do it again on the harder difficulty. And there's like 3 different like tiers of that kind of a thing, so that when you play through it again, once again, it wasn't, you know, boring because it was different but still the same. Also made so that, you know, you can find different weapons and stuff and different loot and things like that. Also, you know, the different enemies you fight are different, so you have to like learn you know, what enemies, you know, how to defeat certain enemies and things like that, which is, you know, all about, you know, just thinking how to, you know, get better at the game. But it didn't change the basic level structure, which is good, and, you know, the goals stay the same, so that, you know, you still were doing the same thing, but just there's a different path to get there, kind of an idea. I mean, overall, I enjoy the game a lot. I'm definitely going to continue playing it because, you know, due to its randomization, I didn't beat it on all 3 difficulties, so I'm still going to probably do that. It also did not do the game's, like, you know, collaboration feature where you can play with friends and stuff like that. So I definitely want to try that out. Maybe with some of you guys, if you hit me up, kind of a thing. But overall, to give a score, I'd say it's a 7.5 out of 10. It's not Game of the Year material, obviously, but, you know, it's extremely enjoyable. There's only like a few issues, you know, that stood out to it, and those are more of just, you know, things that I wanted necessarily than actually, you know, issues with the game. Some people have found other bugs and stuff, and there was, you know, like some sort of controversy where there was a big bug at the beginning of the launch where if you deleted the launcher from your computer, it would like wipe the entire hard drive, which was pretty wild. But I honestly didn't do that because I had no need to, you know, get rid of the game. So, I mean, my main issues are just, you know, make the game a little more in depth, you know, add the crafting feature, more like Minecraft stuff. For the most part, I enjoyed the game a lot, and I'm glad that I played it. So, and I hope that you check it out too, because, you know, being only a $20 game instead of normal like Twix $60 games, you know, that's a nice drop and stuff, and keeping along with the Minecraft price, which I think is a good idea. And they're also going to add more levels and stuff in the future as well. So they're definitely going to continue updating the game, I believe. I don't know for how long, but definitely for the foreseeable future. So it's definitely something to keep your eyes on. And overall, so that is my review of Minecraft Dungeons. I hope you enjoyed this and you consider checking out the game yourself. But thanks for watching, and as always, adios.